Hello, good viber. How are you doing today? So we're going to be talking about the relationships of people. We're going to be talking about communism, and we're going to be talking about porn. Wow, what a mix in today's what a mix. Okay, so why Esther? Why? Yeah, I don't have an answer for that. This is just what God's put on my heart to talk about. So let's talk about it, shall we? So let's start off with the first one, which is about people and the relationships we have with people. Now, I believe that there are three kinds of relationships we have with people. We either I almost said. Okay, so we either have the relationship where we assume because they are a stranger. This is when you see someone across the street, maybe they're running and you assume they're running because they're late for something. These are the people that you may see in class or work with, not really talking very much. So most of your identity that you've made up for them is in your mind because you've assumed most of the things. Maybe you've assumed that their name is something like Jared or Greg, and that they're running because they work at a hot dog stand. Okay, so that is a weird assumption. But okay, that's the first kind of relationship, I guess, dynamic that we could have. Now, the second one is probably most common, and that would be simply interacting with these people in a way that is on a daily basis or towards something. So this could be your classmates, your coworkers. This could be even certain family members like your cousins or uncles and aunts, depending on what level. Now there are more levels to relationships than this, but on this level you kind of know this person on a little bit more of an individual level, or at least you can assume, and your assumptions are a bit more clear with actual facts to back them up, such as if you saw someone wearing a Trump hat, you could assume that possibly they are on that side of the political scheme of things, and so on and so forth. Now, of course, this is very similar to the stranger situation, except these people, you may know their name, they also may know you. We can also throw in the family members and therapists, which kind of know you to an extent or know more about you than the everyday stranger as you do them. Yet there are certain missing pieces that when we go to the level of the relationship, which is within ourselves, which we really get into some steep energy of just there is nothing except your authentic self. There are no masks except who you are when the door is closed. There is just you and God, source, universe, if you will. And of course, you can open your door to maybe one potential person that you feel led to live out the rest of your lives, and therefore needs to be aware of the truth which is underneath your mask. So those are the kinds of relationships that we see going on, I guess, or that's the kind of dynamic of how we put it together. Okay, so this one is always changing. That last kind of relationship, you might wake up one day in love with yourself, you might wake up the next day hating everything, including yourself. Now that is interesting, changing, shifting dynamic in which you are more so observing, sharing that place with a God as you observe what is going on in your inner world. And maybe you will share this with one or two other people, your best friend, your spouse. So that's what's going on there. Now, we can see that there's a lot of these level 2 and 3. In fact, we can see these assumptions being made with so many people in terms of, oh, like, you are this way because I am assuming you're this way, because honestly, I have no other bias other than what's going on inside my own relationship with myself and how I perceive things, and I'm going to perceive you through those lenses because those are the lenses I have been given. So this clumping of people, especially in the phase 3 of parts of relationships where we see them as strangers, and we pretty much just collect most of our data off of assumptions that we have created from previous relationships we have with things. And this could be, when I say relation, I don't just mean with people, but this could be animals, this could be clothing, this could be colors, this could be certain slang or sayings, this could be really any kind of energy body you can think of. And I'm going to use the depiction of maybe someone wearing a Trump hat again, and how we would have many assumptions that could lead to certain energies, right? Certain emotions being brought up, and how we react when those emotions are brought up is also really interesting. So even though we don't know this person at all, we can still bring ourselves to hate them if we really want to, just from mere fact that we've had previous experiences that have triggered certain energy or emotions. So I know that I said something about communism. I'm not sure why, to be honest, but hey, I would like to know what your definition of communism, because I feel like that is a word that, like, when I hear it, either people will have like a little to no emotional reflection on the word, or they will be extremely, again, with that energy, or those emotions will be very much like driving their assumption because of the personal experiences they may have had with this word, or this concept. Again, this relationship, it is so foreign to me. I could see the idea or concept, and I'm just gonna be honest, fam, I am just a human being. I do not know everything. Communism I'm not very familiar with, but maybe someone can do some more research and share in the comments, you know, some good sources to check out and research. All right, but for real, I would say that right now it's a stage 3 in the fact that I'm not really familiar with this word. Sure, I've heard it thrown around here and there, but do I actually know for myself, or do I have a closer relationship with that word? Not really. And therefore, I can't say that it makes me as emotionally charged or has such an ingrained in my inner ticking than it, you know, other people. And so that is really interesting when we just kind of look at us as human beings, as we connect with certain energy, how that may impact our emotions. And our emotions are where we take a lot of action, energy, and motion. So there's an immediate action that we want to take to express these emotions most of the times. And going back to that, I do believe that I'm gonna throw this out here, but I do believe that kinks have a certain mix of emotions, in terms of, again, stranger to that second level, to that third level, understanding what ticks within you, these inner ticks or these inner drives. We have created that relationship within ourselves, and then looking outwardly, we can see that it is not usually we look at every stranger and think about these kinks, but it's more so this energy. And a kink is literally like a knot in the energy. And we go back to the chakras, and we go back and we look at the chakras in terms of, we want to unravel those knots, understanding that a kink will show energy of usually a polarizing side of yourself that you are wanting to compensate some other energy within yourself. Wow, Esther's just been going on a rant today. Good luck to anyone watching this. I'm shocked, okay? You're following along, because I sure as heck am praying to God to just lead the way. So for real, it's interesting. It's interesting to think of how we create these connections or these relations with literally everything in our life, from living beings to inanimate objects. We have these relations and we grow from them, and we grow our understanding and experience, and the energy and the emotional drive that is backing up all of these, that later down the road leads to the actions of how we take and how we view people and others. I think overall the reason I'm making this video is just to remember to never assume that you know someone or you know something about anyone, because, to be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you, we're always changing, and that's a beautiful thing. So just focus on yourself, focus on that energy that you're cultivating and what you are in relation or communion with, and allow that to be something that is productive. And even if you are finding opposition in certain relations or paradoxical thoughts that you thought couldn't get along, give yourself the opportunity in this space to just see them from a different light. without further ado, I hope that you like this video. It's pretty weird, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how I feel about it, but I said what I said, so see you in the next video. Namaste.